Well, I guess it's time to remove Mourinho from the home screen there, the little Vespa going back and forth. But we've got a lot of news to cover for Roma today, guys. I'm Wayne Gerard. It's nice to see you, whether it's Saturday morning or afternoon. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk about some new players for Roma, give the Mercato a review, a little bit about the Super League proposal, and then go into Romacagliari before we ultimately take a look at the Derby d'Italia, which will be taking place on Sunday. But first thing, hey, Aliyah Pilgrim, she's making her rounds around Rome, new 20-year-old from Roma Femminile. Can't wait to see her out on the pitch and what she's going to offer. And she's a big deal on social media. You can see her numbers, big account, and she's attracting a lot of attention. She dates Okafor from Milan, and they're going to be looking to retain their Serie A title. Roma Femminile are the best team in Italy, and they've been building upon something special, and you can see them now that they're adding younger players, and they've got something working. I want to see them improve upon their Champions League. They went out last year to Barcelona, but I want to see them go maybe semis, final, see what they could do, and that's something that's really of pride for the Giallorossi, or Giallorosse, I should say. Maybe you've seen the Gladiator soundtrack being played at the orchestra by the live orchestra, or I should say in the open air. If you want, go and check out on my Twitter that one. But I want to head right to the Super League comment from Laporta, the president of Barcelona. And he said, a proposal is made to a club which just by participating, you tell them that they'll earn 100 million, which is not earned by even winning the Champions League. Barca, Madrid, Inter, Napoli, Roma, Marseille, 3 Dutch teams, 2 from Belgium. He says, look, in 1955, the Champions League, that wasn't even a big tournament. Only a few teams participated. And now, look, it's the most prestigious tournament in European football. I'm not saying I want to see Roma join. I'm just saying it makes you think. I would never want to see Roma without Serie A. To me, that's the most important championship, as well as the Champions League. That's every player's dream. Every young player, they grow up, especially, of course, in Europe. And that's what they want. They think of that their whole lives. It's something they fight for. Now you take away that incentive, it just wouldn't feel the same. But when it comes to economic conditions, look, EPL clubs, English clubs are doing such damage in the Mercato, and we're going to jump to that in a second. But it's very difficult to compete when their average January Mercato spending breaks records of Roma's all-time signing. And that's what makes this, you definitely got to think more than a half a second about it. But like I said, and how Roma ultimately feels about that, they're just staying in Serie A. They're not going to join that. They're not even interested in it. The Azzurri are coming to New Jersey. They'll be in my home, just a few miles away from my house at Red Bull Stadium as they face Ecuador. And then the 21st of March, they will be playing Venezuela in Fort Lauderdale. Very cool to see them. I'm excited about that. I'm working on getting a press pass, but there's going to be so many Romanisti as well as fans of Italian football who are going to be joining that. Other news, Fiorentina lose in the last 2 minutes, 2 goals. They were up 2-1 and away from home at Lecce. The Giallorossi, they scored 2 goals in the 90th and the 92nd. Unfortunately, do you know who missed a goal that would have put Fiorentina up 3-1? Hello, Andrea Bellotti. Unfortunate for him as he was just loaned there. Yikes. But we see that Roma's sneaking up, and another fixture of this weekend sees both teams who have a game in hand over Roma, Atalanta and Lazio. Lazio 34 points, 1 behind Roma, and Atalanta with 1 ahead. So this weekend, if Atalanta stutter, then Roma could move into 4th place. That would be something. If De Rossi had 3 games in charge and 3 wins, Cagliari at the bottom of the table, speriamo, right? We hope that something can happen there. Let's see. But to get 4th spot, I mean, it's kind of like what Mourinho said. It's not all over. But now De Rossi has kicked his team into a different gear. They're playing a lot more open. That does not mean they're perfect. They give a lot on the counterattacks. We saw that last match against Salernitana. They could have scored quite a few goals. They could have been up 2-0 within the first 30 minutes. So De Rossi ball is not perfect. I don't think he's completely concrete in what he wants and how he wants the team to play. He's just met these players. He's had this job less than 3 weeks. He's been looking at them and studying how to use them less than 3 weeks. So let's see what it looks like ironed out in a few. He didn't have a preseason. What that means is that the players take more time to adapt to those tactics as well. But as we look at Thiago Pinto's final Mercato, who has departed from the Giallorossi. I'm looking at Enzo's tweet here with this nicely with the rivals and outgoing. Huijsen comes in on loan, the Juventus prospect, 18 years old. Angelino, who's I think about 27 years old, he comes in on a loan plus option for about 5 million euros. And Baldanzi, who's roughly 13 plus 2 with add-ons. We'll see what happens there. That's my marquee signing of this Mercato. I haven't been this content with a January market since Nainggolan came, and that's many years ago at this point. Outgoing Solbakken Vigna, who's actually fully sold to Flamengo, about 10 million euros there. Mastro Antonio, the keeper, to Pro Vercelli, that's out on a loan. Bellotti's out on a loan, as well as Kambula to Sassuolo. I don't think these players come back. I think that's it for them. Even if they do come back to be red and yellow, I think they're ultimately sold, with Darboe, who's at Sampdoria, out on, I believe, a dry loan. So out of this Mercato, I give it, I'm going to go with an 8.5. The only thing that could have gotten this to a 10, keeping into perspective, this is January and not the summer, would have been if Roma acquired maybe one good, decent right back, a prospect there. Huijsen isn't a deal. He's one which will help Roma. I don't think he's not a great deal because ultimately you're developing a Juventus prospect. Angelino, I think, could be a bit of a diamond in the rough. His past with his transfers, look, it hasn't exactly worked out for him, but he is a Manchester City youth product. He's got that talent within him. It's just a matter of if it can be brought out of him or not. Probable formations as we look into Monday. We've got an interesting game here. I think I just scrolled away from it. Sorry. El Shaarawy is predicted to be starting with Lukaku out on the left there and Dybala in a trident. Maybe I would like to see Baldanzi get the start over El Shaarawy, but are those two compatible, or is Baldanzi just a vice Dybala? A question that's going to ride going into Monday. Pellegrini, Paredes, Cristante in the midfield will be interesting. De Rossi has mentioned that he sees Cristante and Paredes being able to play together. We'll see how that works. I think it'll be like a double pivot system, more so, especially as Roma play higher up the pitch. Right to left, Karsdorp, Mancini, Llorente, Angelino from the start. Once again, predicted. This is only a probable. And Rui Patricio in net. Scuffet, the keeper who at 18 years old from Udinese was rated so highly, has gone to become a bit of a journeyman in Serie A and between Serie B. Augello, Mina, Dossena, Zappa, Nandez in the midfield, who's still playing for them. That's kind of a shock there. Prati, keep your eyes on this youngster. Prati is definitely a player who's going to be in the Azzurri lineup in the years to come. Makoumbou also joins him in midfield, with Viola taking the numero 10, number 10 there as the trequartista, with Lapadula and Petagna up front. Didn't even realize Petagna went to Cagliari. He's been somewhat quiet with Lapadula, who was the Serie B capocannoniere preceding his move to Milan, and another just kind of meh career. But players who can be dangerous. They've got it within them. And they've got a good manager with Claudio Ranieri in the 4-2-3-1, 4-3-1-2 rather, which won't look too different, I think, to how Roma look in attack. We'll see how Dybala is utilized. What's that bench looking like? Bove here, who I have to say probably gets the start over one of Paredes or Cristante. Awar is back from AFCON, but we know that Indica is still going on with it. Christensen, Zalewski, Pagano, Pesili, Sanchez, Villar, Boer, Salik. There was this thinking that it was reported on Roman media. It was making the rounds that Sanchez was blocking the Baldanzi move, but that had nothing to do with it. Shows you sometimes how much these journalists know and don't know, and you just got to be patient. Who is being warned here? Who is the diffidati? Christensen and Llorente, as well as Pellegrini. They're on yellows. So you could probably assume that Pellegrini will be subbed off in the 60th or 70th minute if he gets to start. But let's end today by looking at the probable lineups for Inter Juve. Let's go to the disposizione in campo, the placements on the field. Bastoni, Acerbi, Pavard, what a signing there. He was big money, though, by Inter. They paid for him. They're going to win Serie A, I think. They think they're going to win this game, too. As you see, Darmian, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, Di Marco out on the left with Thuram and Lautaro. I think this is one of not just the best team in Italy, but also top 4 in Europe. I want to see them for their own sake. I think they play good football, and I'm not a hater. I would like to see Inter go on to play in the Champions League and make it possibly to the final again. That would be cool if they go and win it. Cheers to them. Inzaghi's a decent manager. Chesney starts in net for Bianconeri, for the old lady, former Roma player, right? I'm a little still. I wish Chesney stayed with Roma, to be honest. But who came after him? Roma's best keeper ever, Liverpool. Gatti, Bremer, Danilo, right to left, Cambiaso, McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, who plays in more of a utility role under Max Allegri. I think this is a mess up here. I think he should be more forward and closer to Vlahovic. And Yildiz, youngster Yildiz, man, is he a talent. Juventus is really going to start cooking when they have Sule back from Frosinone, one of the best dribblers in Serie A. So over the next 3 years, I think Juventus is, over the next eternity, I think Juventus is going to be extremely strong. I don't think that they're going to move away from being a top team. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you rate the Mercato and what you think about the preview for Roma's lineup. Should it be Bove, Cristante, and Pellegrini? Should it be Paredes, Cristante, and Pellegrini? I think you got to start Bove. Let me know what you think. We'll talk soon, guys. Ciao.